In a wide, restless city lived a young man named William. To everyone who passed him on the street, the neighbors, the shopkeepers, the bus driver who saw him every morning, William looked like everyone else. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary. But deep inside, behind all the noise and disappointment and routine, William carried something he couldn't quite describe. A fire, a whisper, a pull. A voice that kept saying, "You were made for more." The problem was, the world around him wouldn't stop shouting long enough for him to hear it. Every morning was the same. Wake up late, rush to a job he didn't love, answer messages, scroll endlessly, drown in noise. Come home exhausted, collapse, repeat. His mind was loud, but his life was silent. One night, after another draining, ordinary day, William sat on the edge of his bed staring at his cracked phone screen. Notifications flashed, messages buzzed, his mind spun. And then, something inside him snapped. Not in anger, not in frustration, in clarity. He whispered, almost afraid of the words leaving his mouth. "If I don't change this version of myself, I'm going to lose everything I'm meant to be." For the first time, he asked himself the real question. What if I disappeared? Not from life, but from noise. What if he shut off the world? What if he entered a season where no one saw his progress, where no one applauded his effort, where no one even knew what he was doing? What if he stepped into the dark room, the place where real masterpieces develop? That night, William made the most important decision of his life. He deleted social apps, turned off notifications, stopped announcing dreams, stopped explaining his plans, stopped telling everyone what he would someday do. He didn't tell his friends. He didn't tell his coworkers. He didn't make a speech. He disappeared. The first few days felt strange. Quiet, still, uncomfortable. No constant scroll, no constant noise, no constant opinions. Just him and the work. He spent nights in the gym, pushing through the pain. He spent mornings in the library, reading, planning. He spent afternoons building skills he had postponed for years. He spent silent hours alone with his thoughts, meeting himself for the first time. At night, when everyone else was out laughing, drinking, posting, showing off, William was working in the dark. There were days he felt lonely. There were days he questioned himself. There were days he almost broke. But every time doubt whispered, his conviction whispered louder. A man is rewarded in public for what he does in private. 3 months in, life got hard. William had spent money on courses, training, equipment, and soon his bank account was nearly empty. He skipped meals, slept on a friend's couch for 2 weeks, walked miles to save bus fare, fought hunger, fatigue, and fear. His family didn't understand. His friends thought he was acting strange. Someone even said, "What are you even doing with your life? You vanished." But William just smiled, because they didn't need to know. He wasn't building for applause. He wasn't building for likes. He wasn't building for validation. He was building a new version of himself, brick by brick, choice by choice, sacrifice by sacrifice. Behind closed doors, behind silence, behind discipline. 6 months after he disappeared, everything changed. Not overnight, not magically, but undeniably. His body was stronger, his mind was sharper, his habits were solid, his skills were refined. His discipline was unshakable. He no longer needed inspiration. He had become inspiration. He no longer needed motivation. He had built identity. He no longer needed accountability. He had created self-respect. For the first time in his life, He could look in the mirror and say, "This is who I was meant to be." He wasn't done, not even close, but he was ready. Ready to step out. Ready to debut the masterpiece the dark room had created. Ready to return and shock the world. On a cold morning, exactly 6 months after his disappearance, William stepped into the city streets, not as the same man who vanished, but as the man who returned, transformed. He launched the business he had quietly been building. He released the projects he had crafted in silence. He spoke with clarity, confidence, authority. People were stunned. The same friends who called him crazy now asked, "How did you do it? Where did this come from? When did you build all this?" William smiled, the same quiet smile he carried the night he began. And he said, "While everyone was watching each other, I was watching myself. While everyone was posting, I was practicing. While everyone was talking, I was becoming. I disappeared so I could finally appear." William's story spread far beyond his city. People didn't celebrate him because he was perfect. They celebrated him because he had the courage to vanish, to walk away from noise, distraction, opinions, validation, and walk toward discipline, destiny, and self-mastery. His life became a reminder to anyone with a fire inside them. Sometimes you must disappear. Sometimes you must unplug. Sometimes you must sacrifice. Sometimes you must separate to elevate. The dark room is not punishment. It is preparation. And when you emerge from it, when your work is ready, when you step back into the world, you will shock everyone who doubted you, everyone who overlooked you, everyone who underestimated you, everyone, including your old self, who never believed you had the courage to change. Because greatness is not built in public. Greatness is built in the dark. And when you finally step into the light, the world will never look at you the same again.